Hi, I'm Supriya, and today I wanted to talk to you about unconscious biases or implicit biases, something that we may be operating from and making decisions based on without even being aware of doing so. One of the very interesting demonstrations of unconscious bias was made through an experiment where a group of people were asked a riddle, and you know, the answers were surprising. So the people participating in this experiment were told this riddle and they were required to answer it. And they were asked that there's a young man who's going for an interview and his dad drives him to the place where he's supposed to give the interview. And while he's just getting down from the car, he gets a call from the CEO of the company and who says, all the best, son. Hope, and I'm sure you're going to do great. And then the participants were asked, how could this be? Most of the people were trying to answer things like, he had a stepfather, or, he was adopted, or things like that, right? But very, very few people were able to answer that the CEO was the mother of this young man. And when you think about it, when the participants themselves were told this answer, they were surprised at themselves because these were people who thought themselves to be gender unbiased, right? They thought they didn't make decisions based on a gender person. Yet, subconsciously, unconsciously, they were thinking that if it is a power position like the CEO of a company, it has to be a man. And when they were told that it's a woman, their expressions were a thing to look at. They were so shocked at themselves. And if we ask ourselves these questions, if we put ourselves into situations where we are required to face our biases, we'll be surprised with what we know about ourselves then. There was another experiment, this time with kids, where the kids were given a word and then they were expected to describe what that person would look like, right? And these words were like firemen and doctors and scientists. And majority of the kids ended up drawing men or describing men that suited these roles. Very, very, very few kids were able to, picture a woman as a doctor or a scientist or a fireman. So basically, these biases come in at a very early age because these are a product of our environment. It's not that we are willingly pandering to these biases. These are actually, conditioning that happens to us through a lot of information that we get from our social circle, from our family, from our upbringing, from our peers, from our schooling, and the environment that we grow up in. And these are very, very subtle cues and messaging that we've been imbibing over the years and we don't really know about it, right? And all of us are guilty of it to a certain extent. But these biases are harming us as much as they're harming people that we are biased against. So, for example, and there's research to prove that these biases exist. There was a study that proved that white sounding CVs or job applications are 74% more likely to be accepted than those with names that sound like ethnic minorities. Similarly, identical CVs with the name of a man are 1.5 times more likely to get hired than those that have the name of a woman. So it's not harming just the candidates that you've rejected, but also your company where you've missed out on great talent just because there was this bias at play. So think about it. Are you operating from this casual discrimination that you might not be even aware of? Next time you make a choice, think twice about it and make the right one. Thank you.